for the best in Sooner football recruiting news? Then it's time to get locked in with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Whether you're a recruiting doomer or sunshine pumper, text the guys on the First Liberty Bank text line at 405-651-3439. And call your shot on the Riverwind Casino jackpot line at 405-329-9000.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
What's up, everybody? Happy Hump Day here on the Ref Sports Radio Network. It's Locked In, presented by Dorsey Jones Buick GMC out in El Reno. We'll tell you about them here coming up in just a couple of minutes. Grayson Singleton and Connor Pasby here with me today. No Parker Thune today. No Parker Thune the rest of the week, actually. And Connor's in with me today. Our show is brought to you by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno, family-friendly service and a low-pressure sales environment. They are here to help you and assist you before, during, and after the buying process. Plus, y'all know what it is, half-price oil changes on Saturdays. So make sure you tap in with our friends at Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. CP, what's going on, man? How we doing?
What's up, Grayson? Yeah, Locked In looking a little different today. Had to move some things around today. Parker going 9 to 12 with Josh, and yeah, happy to slide in with you today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Let's have some fun. Hey, coming up in a couple of minutes, this Parker Livingston story on 3 has me thinking about the good and bad nature of college football. More so good. I really liked that story that On 3 did using the quotes from Parker Livingston. So we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes. But I want to get to our feature recruit of the day, and that's Gabe Osborne, 4-star corner from Mustang, Oklahoma. He has been projected into Oklahoma's class across the industry. I imagine he closes the class as a 5-star. That's going to be my prediction. But what's interesting here with Gabe Osborne, Connor, is that over the last few days, Parker and I have repeatedly said that they are close. They are close with Gabe Osborne, and it's only a matter of time that they get that done. And yesterday, Parker brought up the very astute point that Gabe Osborne, one of the advantages that Oklahoma has had with him is that he's in the middle of basketball season. So he hasn't been able to get on campus with a bunch of other schools. It's easy to get him down to Norman from Mustang, and that's what's given the Sooners an advantage, a very recognizable geographical advantage over of his other suitors. Now, they need to get this done because they don't want him taking other visits. And there's two sides to the NIL coin here, is that, yes, it can give to you, as we're about to see with Parker Livingston in a minute, but also it can make things a lot more complicated. And Connor, they've got to get this done so they can lock him in at a price that they like. I don't know what that price is, but if he starts taking other visits to like a Miami or a Texas or an Ohio State, all of a sudden that price gets inflated, and now we've got a more dramatic recruitment than we otherwise thought we would.
Yeah, and his visits are just going to continue to go up. Man, we saw him last year, especially with Mustang, up close, getting to cover him on a lot of our K-Ref games that we had throughout the regular season against Mustang. Man, just a different type of athlete, different kind of speed when he's out there on the field. Yeah, he's getting recruited at the cornerback spot, but we saw him at wide receiver make an impact in the special teams as well. Yeah, colleges are going to continue to go after him. OU needs to get it done quickly because that is a special talent right there with Gabe Osborne.
And the price thing is the interesting one, because we're coming off of the Zane Rowe fiasco. Not that this one is going to trend in that direction. I'm not insinuating that. But when you're talking about guys who like to go on these world tours and they'll take visits here, take visits there, especially to the places where we know that people are going to try to beat your price and are going to up the ante, that's where things can get a little bit weird when it comes to the price. So if you're Oklahoma, seeing all this momentum you got in the recruiting class right now, I would say for the Sooners, get this one done. Get it done. Lock him into the price you like. Have him shut it down, and don't take the other visits, because ultimately the other visits is what complicates everything else.
No, it complicates with every single recruit. That's what you see about just with visits, and that's why it's important to get it done quickly. And he's been on a tear as of late on the recruiting trail, what we saw over the weekend. But, man, this is another big player with Gabe Osborne, and it should be crucial for Oklahoma. Another one of those guys that is in-state that you want to keep him here.
Yeah, and again, Oklahoma's the way Jim Nagy has worked, Parker and I have talked about this many a time, is they don't want to be in a bunch of bidding wars, whether it's with high schoolers or with the transfer portal. And if you trust Jim Nagy and you trust the evaluations that they have made and the way they do business too, then they're going to equitably compensate this kid. But you don't want it to get to a price where you get uncomfortable. 405-651-3439, First Liberty Bank text line. We'll see what all of you guys have to say. Reformed Sooner says, if what you're saying is true, why wouldn't Osborne run up the price? I'm not talking about this from an Osborne perspective. We're talking about this from an Oklahoma perspective. And look, there is some interest in the kid, on the kid's side as well. Because as we've also talked about, if you play around with Oklahoma will, start, feeling out their other options. So it's in everybody's best interest, I think, including Gabe Osborne's. And look, Gabe Osborne, if he turns out to be the player that he's going to be, or that he can be, if he turns out to be that player, whatever he makes in college isn't going to matter, because he's going to make generational money at the NFL level. This is a well-built kid that excels not just as a cover corner, but also as a wide receiver, and has very outstanding punt return skills as well. One of the more athletic players on the field. I saw him play basketball this weekend as too.
Yeah, if you want to see how athletic that kid is, go watch the basketball. We have it on our broadcast, what you saw a few days ago in area.
Yeah.
What he can do at 6'2", dunking the basketball is quite impressive. Yes, we know what he can do on the football field, but go watch him on the basketball floor too.
Yeah, Big Cheeto 34 on our YouTube chat, which, by the way, we are on YouTube. Search KREF Sports on YouTube, and you will find Connor and I. He says, Osborne is a freak of an athlete. He is. And that is the crux of why he is being so highly recruited by some of these guys. But that's why, if you're Oklahoma, I'm looking at this, and this is my opinion on the matter, get this one done so we can continue to have a pretty drama-free 2027 cycle. I mean, there's two things really in the cycle of 2027 that have been kind of dramatic. The Peyton Houston saga, where he ultimately on the last minute decides to commit to LSU. Oklahoma ends up with Jamison Roberts, so we're all good there. And then whatever the hell's been going on with Zane Rowe. Other than that, this has been a pretty straightforward 2027 recruiting cycle. And I know you as fans, and I know the administration and the staff, and even some of the players as well, would love for this cycle to continue being the number one class that it is, while also it not being full of a bunch of unnecessary storylines.
And you already got in-state guy in Graydon Howe, and, man, that would make things even better if you're able to get Gabe Osborne. Man, those are two just electric playmakers that we have in the state of Oklahoma, and it just makes it even more sweet that you're able to just keep them home.
A texter in the 918 says, Nagy said the other day they haven't given up on Heineke. What's the latest? Not a whole lot of updates. And also my feel on the matter, Owen Heineke's going to the NFL. I think the ship has started to sail on Owen Heineke coming back to Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's just been a long time now. We just haven't really heard a whole lot. Nagy brought it up the other day, but I think we're just getting to the point now. You can kind of just give up on this process. I think Owen Heineke, just with him at the combine, and you're going to see him here in a little bit going through more workouts. But, yeah, I think he's now focusing on the NFL.
Brad from Mustang with a very true text. If you ever want to feel miserably disappointed in any athletic ability you ever had, Go watch Gabe Osborne play basketball or football, and that's so facts, man.
Well, yeah, Brad's seen it too. I mean, being from Mustang. I mean, with him doing, both sports, what he's able to do on the football field and the basketball floor, it's quite impressive.
He not only is a 4-star football player, borderline 5-star, he is a 5-star athlete.
Yeah.
Just in terms of an athletic profile, that's what that dude is.
And I told you, too, a few days ago, if Gabe Osborne, wanted to focus on more on basketball, I think he could be like a power 4 basketball player as well. It's that type of athletic ability that he has.
And here's the thing, he's skilled too.
Yeah.
He's not just a jumper, which he can do that very well. He's got a shot on him. He can dribble. And he's a very skilled basketball player. And this weekend was the first time I'd ever seen him play basketball as an upperclassman. And I was a little bit surprised. I was a little bit surprised that of just his skill level of the sport. That was impressive to me. Old Chris from San Diego says, is Jacoby Johnson still there? Is he a senior now or a junior? I believe he is a senior, and yes, he is still here. I do believe that I think he's a senior now. But yes, he is still there. They continue to like how he's grown. My thing with Jacoby Johnson is this. Because he's waffled back and forth with some experiments with wide receiver and whatnot, if they can turn him into a cornerback, right, just turn him into a guy who masters the techniques of playing cornerback, Jacoby Johnson could be a player. And he ended the season pretty well in 2025 for OU.
Oh, he did have that pick against Mizzou that you saw. He started to play a lot better ball when he got more chances out there on the field. 405 says they said after basketball season he would commit. When will the season close for hoops?
Well,
they're in the state tournament.
The state tournament is
right
this
now.
week. So the end of the basketball season is Saturday. So you could see something there. I do not know, and I talked to Parker about this earlier today. We do not know if he has any other visits scheduled right now, official or unofficial, to any other schools. So that's something to keep an eye on. The other thing I wanted to get to in this opening segment is Parker Livingston. It's so fascinating to me what the agent market has done in college football. And Parker Livingston dropped this quote during OU's local media day. Quote, "If I didn't have an agent, I'd probably still be in Austin right now. That's the truth," end quote. And I know there's a lot of people who have somewhat soured on college football and college sports because of the money that's involved in everything. But I actually think this is a really good thing. The story of Parker Livingston getting here is a really good thing because how he got here is that Texas started to devalue him because the Longhorns knew that they were going to make a huge bid for Cam Coleman and then ultimately landing him. And it was his agent that said, wait, hold on a minute. Don't accept this because this is what you're worth on the open market. He finds that out, enters the transfer portal, and I'm oversimplifying this a little bit, but that's how he ends up at Oklahoma. Because his agent says, wait a minute, I'm going to talk to some people, I'm going to sit down with you, and we're going to find out your market value. And to me, that's so huge in the world of college athletics. This is the great thing about the new age of college athletics. When these young men can take place and utilize what they bring to the table in a free market. I love it. And I love that he has an agent that sat down with him and gave him sound advice. And sometimes the agent gives, and sometimes the agent game takes away. But in a world where everybody, and I mean everybody, can use their skills, whatever the skills are. You're a welder, you're an electrician, you're a lawyer, you're a broadcaster. We all are able to test the open market. We're all able to see what our market value is based on, okay, what will people pay for these types of services? And you can ask around and do whatever. And I love that college athletes are able to do the same. And if they're not happy with what one school values them at, then, okay, let's go see what another school will value me at. And with the help of an agent, we can get to that right place. And that's why I love this story.
Yeah, and agents can be good, and this could be a situation for Parky Livingston just going to the other side, your other arch rival. You hope it works out good for him. But going back to that quote, man, we had plenty of Sooner fans that kind of didn't know how to take that quote, just saying that he didn't have an agent, or if his agent was telling him certain things, that he would still be at the University of Texas. And he also said he goes into the Cotton Bowl when he was at Texas wanting to beat the crap out of Oklahoma, and now it's wanting to beat the crap out of Texas now since he's a Sooner.
The whole thing's a business.
Yep.
The whole thing's a business. It's always been. The only difference is that the players now can take part in the business. And the players need help, just like the coaches need help. That's why Jim Nagy in the front office is there doing what they're doing with Oklahoma. But the players need help as well in this. And I love a good agent story, because if I wasn't doing broadcasting, I was going to go back to law school and try to become an agent. That was plan B for me, full disclosure. So I love a good agent story, but I know some people thought, and I see it on the text line, Sooner Soldier says, that sounds like he wished he was still at Texas. I don't think so. Because it seemed as if Oklahoma said, hey, we value you more. And people will always gravitate to where they feel valued more. And if his value to Oklahoma superseded the value that he had at Texas, then the fact that he's allowed to move to the place where he is valued more, I think is a good thing. And this probably comes as no surprise to a lot of people who listen to me, because I don't really have that many problems with this day and age of college football. I think there need to be rules around it, but the fact that players make money and players can move doesn't bother me in the slightest. So people aren't going to be surprised that I'm saying this. But this, to me, is the best of what this whole thing was supposed to be. Get players participating in a free market, test your market value, and then go from there. And at this point, with this particular story, it ends up well for Oklahoma. Connor, let's get a couple more texts here before we get our first break.
Let's see. This one just came in from the 918. He says, I'm not sure most agents are giving as good advice as Livingstone's advisor.
Oh, no. There are, and that was going to be one of the limiting factors in this, is that, well, there's not a whole lot of agents anyway, and there's not a whole lot of good agents either. This one, Rob Slavin, by the way, is the agent's name for Parker Livingston, and he is a good agent. I will say that. Ron Slavin. Let me get that right.
405 says, none of the actions he did were wrong, and the agent provided him with a good opportunity and value.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I would agree 100% on that. But no, you're right. Going back to that previous text about sometimes, agents can put the athletes kind of in a tough spot, and it ends up not working for them. But it does not feel that way with Parker Livingston.
Papa Boganowski, last one before we go to break. People thinking the agent is the problem are the problem. Absolutely. The agents are not the problem here. Now, I will say the agents can be part of the problem, because you do have some bad agents out there who are not giving sound advice, and then you're giving it to very impressionable human beings at a very impressionable part of their life. So they can be part of the problem, but agents are not the problem. Everybody needs a middleman. Like, how many of you that have negotiated contracts that are listening to us today? I've never negotiated a contract. Connor, I don't know if you've ever been a part of negotiations before, but how many of you negotiate directly with your boss? You usually have somebody else to be the middleman with that. And players should not be negotiating directly with the school, because they don't have the literacy to be able to do so at 18, 19, 20 years old. All right, he's Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton here on Locked In. Just getting started here on a Wednesday here on the Ref Sports Radio Network. Hey, coming up next, I got a question for all of you guys. We'll continue with OU sports and all that, but I have a question for all of you that have kids, because I saw something a couple weeks ago that made me wonder, am I really going to be that kind of adult and that kind of parent? We'll talk about that to begin next segment. Connor Pasby, I'm Grayson Singleton. Locked In continues after this.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
Are you in need of purchasing your own health insurance? Are you turning 65 and confused about Medicare? Are you an employer looking at offering benefits to your staff? Call the agents at Allison Insurance. They'll sort through the confusion. They're not captive to just one company, and they'll get the best option for you. Don't get frustrated. Call Allison Insurance at 800-580-5587 or 745-2968. Allison Insurance. They are the experts.
For the professional, it's not enough to just possess knowledge. That's why at GMC, we seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries, while pushing the limits. And we put this knowledge to the test in every GMC Sierra by engineering each one to outperform your expectations. So you know you're getting precision and durability when you need it most. And that's what makes the GMC Sierra the truck worth knowing. We are professional grade. See your Oklahoma GMC dealers.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Our showroom is home to classic favorites like diamond earrings and pearl strands, plus cool watches from Michelle and Shinola, and cases full of the latest trends. We are known for our engagement rings and love giving our customers every option, straight from our cases or in their very own custom design, with natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gemstones. Shop with us in-store or shop our website or Instagram. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
In Norman, great food and great company come together at Louie's Grill and Bar. Legendary burgers, ice-cold beer, and a lively atmosphere make it an easy choice any day of the week.
Louie's Grill and Bar. Good vibes, great food, and always a good time. Louie's Grill and Bar, an Oklahoma favorite. Tune in every Friday to hear more about the Hal Smith Restaurant Group during The Rush and the Darinoka Show on The Ref.
The big dance and big-time prizes are almost here from the home of Sooner fans. Mark your calendars on Monday, March 16th for the Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway at the newly renovated Buffalo Wild Wings in Moore off 19th Street. From noon to 7 for your chance to win with the big dance or one of our many instant prizes. The Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway is brought to you by Riverwind Casino, Armstrong Bank, the Central Oklahoma Buick GMC dealer, Buffalo Wild Wings, Mitchell's Jewelry, First Liberty Bank, McIntyre Law, Fowler Automotive, Cavens Group, First United Bank, Signature Custom Pools, DM Wealth Management, Valiance Bank, Signature Pool and Patio, Great Nations Bank, and many more. That's the Refs' 25th annual 60-18 giveaway, presented by Riverwind Casino, the Central Oklahoma GMC dealers, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Monday, March 16th.
Are you ready for spring sports season? Gear up like a champion with Balfour & Norman's exclusive apparel for OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics. From the diamond to the gym, we've got the latest shirts, hats, and fan gear that show your Sooner pride in style. Whether you're cheering in the stands or repping your team around town, Balfour of Norman has you covered. Visit us today on Campus Corner or online at crimsonproud.com. Balfour of Norman, where you'll find everything Sooner.
Hey Norman, Steve McDaniel here. As your market president for First Liberty Bank, I know the home field advantage is the edge that wins games. Big national banks are like the away team. They don't know the history or the relationship. We live here, we work here, and we make our decisions right here in Norman. Don't bank with a stranger. Bank with the home team.
Bank like a champion today at First Liberty Bank.
Call First Liberty Bank 405-561-0300. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, welcome back. Locked in, Grayson Singleton, Connor Pasby. No Thune today here on the Ref, the home of Sooner fans, and on YouTube as well. I see all of you. Mark on the YouTube chat talking about Connor Pasby here. Is that a K-Ref Ginger Ninja?
Sure, I can. We can go with that.
Hey, one housekeeping thing before we continue here. So we've got Sooner baseball coverage going to start here at 2:30. And if you are listening to us on terrestrial radio or on the app, you are going to be diverted to Sooner baseball. If you would like to keep listening to Connor and I and The Rush the rest of the way with Tyler McComas and Travis Davidson from 3 to 6, go to Channel 2 on the KREF app or on the website. Wherever you are listening, just hit that go button at the bottom of the screen and toggle over to Channel 2 to listen to our regular programming. Again, baseball will be on Channel 1. That's where you're going to automatically be directed to. But then if you want to continue listening to our daytime 6A to 6P programming, we will be on Channel 2 on the KREF app. Okay, so I got a question for some of you guys. I travel around the state of Oklahoma, and I see a lot of things because I'm going to call games or whatnot. I go to a bunch of schools. I see a bunch of fan bases, see a bunch of parents and all that stuff. And a couple of weeks ago, I was calling a game somewhere. I'm not going to give where the location was because I don't really want to out anybody. But, Connor, there's sometimes when you're younger and you see, I guess you're around my age. So you see, like, adults and you're like, yeah, like, I would want to be like them. I would like to model either what I do professionally or how I conduct myself personally after them, right?
You look up to them, yes. You see the things that they do successfully, yes.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I saw something that I was like, man, I hope I don't become that kind of 40-year-old. And I was at a basketball game, and the parents were screaming at kids on the other team. So much so that a kid fouled out, and I kid you not, there were parents of this one team that were waving goodbye to a kid on the other team. Now, before I vilify anybody, I want to ask the Ref Army, 405-651-3439, First Liberty Bank text line, and on YouTube, those of you that have kids as well. Does this just happen when you have kids? Like, am I going to be this kind of adult when I end up having kids? Like, am I going to be watching my kids play and automatically I'm going to be so invested that I'm screaming at other high schoolers while I'm in my mid-40s and waving goodbye when they fouled out? Like, is this automatically going to happen to me? Or, because if it is, I don't want it to happen. Like, those of you with kids, let me know, please. Is this going to happen or no?
I'm pretty sure Grayson will tell you that, no, this should not happen. Let the student section do that. Yeah, it drives me insane. That, and then you got parents in the stands trying to be coaches as well.
See, like, to me, that's not as low character to me,
Not
though.
as low character.
To me, that just means you love your kids.
Yes. But, no, yeah, don't be those type of people that are yelling at high school athletes. And, yeah, we already got people. 214 says, no, Grayson, you're –
He said,
not
no,
elusive.
not elusive. Okay, good. The producer says that's pretty low-class behavior by parents. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Gunny says, no, not everyone is like this.
Okay, got it. Because it's like, man, like, and I'm around a lot of adults with a lot of great qualities, especially here at this station. There are people, you can go from Dari Noka to Parker Thune to Mike Steele to Josh Helmer to Tyler McComas. And believe it or not, they each have a quality of doing radio that I try to emulate. And they're all excellent people as well. But every once in a while, you see some adults that you're like, yep, nope, not trying to do that. And that was one of them. So I'm glad everybody is rocking with me on this one.
Yeah, some parents just take it too far in the stands. You'll get that, especially at the high school level. That's where it's most common.
It made me really uncomfortable. Because my broadcasting vantage point was pretty close to the parents that were doing it. So it was rather uncomfortable. And I kind of didn't really know how to even, like, talk through that as the broadcaster for the game, it being my job to paint the picture. Jeremy from Memphis says, I yell at refs because they're getting paid. I don't yell at kids. Looking forward to homeschool nationals next week in Springfield, Missouri, which is where I played many a tournament at that homeschool nationals. Yes, my parents will be up there with my youngest sister playing for Dallas HSAA. So, yeah, my parents are going to be going up there next week. My little sister will be there as well. So, glad you're looking forward to that. It was a big part of my life.
But yeah, Jeremy, you can let out your frustration on the refs. That's
absolutely
completely okay.
I mean, and them getting paid is not really the thing that makes it okay for me. The thing that makes it okay for me is because they're grown.
Yes,
you can yell at other grown people.
Yes.
If you're a mid-40s person yelling at kids,
they're just kids.
Looks a little weird. Speaking of kids, Oklahoma's on a roll recruiting-wise. And I brought this up during the 1 o'clock hour in Steely's show. But Oklahoma has the number 1 class according to Rivals. And in my estimation, it's not close. So Oklahoma, in terms of that raw score that they give you on Rivals, is a couple tenths of a point ahead of Ohio State. Ohio State has 9 commits right now. Oklahoma has 19. Like, they are on, coming out of that Future Freaks weekend, because continuing the discourse coming out of last weekend, they are on a heater of all heaters. Bringing in guys like Jamison Roberts and Jalen Scott, getting Seneca Driver to shut it down this early still mystifies me that they were able to pull that off. But, man, I'm telling you, Oklahoma on the recruiting trail, Connor, not to be messed with at this point.
No, it's been outstanding to see what they did over the weekend. And you mentioned Seneca Driver, man. The number 1 tight end in the class, it just shows how quick it was for Jason Witten. Just the name that you brought in for the tight end coaching job, and that just – it gets recruits' attention, and it got Seneca Driver's attention, seeing that name, seeing who the tight end coach is, and still impressive job by Jason Witten to get that done, and really the whole staff, what they've done up to this point.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's some that we're going to continue to monitor. Bodie Sparrow, 4-star athlete from the state of Utah.
Great name, by the way, Bodie Sparrow.
That is a hell of a name.
Good name, man.
Doesn't that sound like, it's not Jack Sparrow, but that kind of sounds a little similar.
It makes you think of Jack Sparrow.
It really does. Makes you think of Pirates of the Caribbean. But Bodie Sparrow, who is a heck of a player, by the way. And if Oklahoma, let's not overstate or understate this too. If Oklahoma is able to pull Bodie Sparrow out of the state of Utah, that is a feat in and of itself. And the reason being is because the 2 Utah schools push very hard to keep their athletes in the state of Utah. BYU and the Utes. They don't let athletes of that caliber get out of the state without a heck of a fight. So if they're able to pull that off and bring in Bodie Sparrow, that is an exceptional job that has been done by the entire staff and the front office as well.
No, it is. Yeah, when you see guys in kind of that Utah area, usually for most of the guys, it comes down to BYU and Utah, and they fight their tail off to not let them get out and go somewhere else out of state. But that'll be really impressive job if Oklahoma is able to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And, you've got guys like, obviously we talked about Gabe Osborne at the beginning of the show, and Juju Johnson, someone to keep an eye on. Sione Falila. Hope I pronounced that right.
Good job, yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced that right. I just said it very confidently.
Right.
It sounded right to me. Is somebody to keep an eye on too. So, 19 commits. Parker and I talked about this yesterday. This could be a class that veers into the 30s. It'll be a large class, and it'll be an exceptional one. And I tell you what, man, they've got the coaching staff that can build a culture, that can build relationships. The last thing they had to do was prove that they could win on a big stage, which to me is why there is no coincidence that this is happening right now. Because you do what they did last year in conjunction with having a staff that people like and a front office now that can expedite these types of processes. This is the result.
Yeah, 19 commits already is kind of crazy to think about for OU. Now it's just about keeping those guys committed. That's the goal now, keeping them locked in at the University of Oklahoma. That's going to be a key, and this thing's just going to continue to growing. Getting close to 30 would be outstanding for the Sooners.
405-651-3439 on the text line. Cup of Dirt says, I don't ever remember mine or any parent yelling at a ref when I was a kid. He also said, I wasn't like that when I was a kid. Parents were adults back then. Yeah, maybe so. Hey, do you remember your parents yelling at refs or umpires? I know you played baseball. Like, did your parents do that?
My mom did quite a bit. My dad was one of those that just kind of stayed in his own lane and didn't say much. But my mom would let it out. Yes, she actually got ejected. I remember one of my middle school games.
Oh wow,
got ejected. Yeah.
My dad was one of those dads where unless you knew he was there, you weren't gonna know he was there.
Yeah.
He would sit up at the top of the bleachers in a corner somewhere, and there was one parent he always liked to sit with, and nobody else. And you wouldn't hear a damn thing from him the entire game.
Yeah, my mom and dad were about the complete opposite of watching games. My mom, to this day, will tell me I didn't even do anything. It was just the umpire didn't like me and threw me out for no reason. But, yes, she would not be afraid to let out her opinion on some calls behind home plate.
Papa Bogadowski, I feel like it's my duty to let the refs have it. Hey, man, go after the refs. Go after the refs. Go after the kids. Ultimate web hunter. As a father of a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old, this is not normal behavior. I'll tell you what, man. Since we're talking about Oklahoma sports, man, this Oklahoma class and the football talent that you and I see calling games in the state of Oklahoma, Ben Kolar at Norman North, Gabe Osborne at Mustang, like we've seen. Graydon Howell, we don't get to see a Broken Bow, but Graydon Howell is excellent.
A name that we hear a lot for him at Broken Bow, yeah.
Samaj Stanford, who probably won't end up in Oklahoma's class, but at Broken Arrow, is excellent. Caleb Dillard, a guy that probably won't end up in Oklahoma's class. But the state of Oklahoma, man, to all of you out there listening, be proud of the state in the 2027 class because these kids can play, dog. I just covered a team this year that had Mason James and Ben Kolar on it. These kids can play.
Yeah, in all levels, too. We get to see a lot of the 6A up close that we get to see. Samaj Stanford over at Broken Arrow that you talked about. But, yeah, the talent is no joke in the state of Oklahoma right now. It's been awesome to just sit back and, watch those guys on the field.
Kyle from Salisaw says, my dad got kicked out of a couple of games. Super embarrassing as a middle school kid. That's extra the 580 says, afternoon, gents. Hope your day is going good. The only kids that deserve taunting are early enrollees at Texas.
There you go. 2 S's at the end of Texas, too. Bravo, 580. Well, little change of subject. Tonight we have South Carolina OU.
Yes, we do.
We do.
How many games do you think Oklahoma's got to win to get into the tournament?
So we keep going back and forth between 2 and 3. I think if you win 2, I think you're sweating on Selection Sunday, and you have a chance to get in. 3, I think you're in for sure.
I think 3, you're sitting okay. I think 2 is not going to be
really
enough.
Okay.
I think 2 could get you to the third line of the last 4 of the first 4 out. I don't see how 2 gets you in. I think 3 is going to be the bare minimum to get in. Now, I will say it plays in the Sooners' favor that the bubble sucks. This year.
I was just about to bring that up. It's kind of what you saw last year with the bubble. 2 years ago with Stiffen, you had a lot of bid stealers 2 years ago.
Yeah.
This year, the bubble's kind of rough. Last night, they got some help with Stanford and Virginia Tech. That was 2 of the teams that were bubble teams that went down. Hopefully that continues to happen for OU, and they avoid seeing a lot of bid stealers. But, we keep going back between the 2 and 3, and we'll have to sit back and see if this Porter Moser team can go on a run here in this SEC tournament.
Let's talk about Porter Moser on the other side.
Let's do it.
Because he is making Oklahoma think about things with the way this team is playing down the stretch. Again, want to give you guys this update again. If you are intending to keep listening to us here on Locked In, make sure you're on Channel 2 on the KREF app presented by Warren Cat. If you want to find baseball, if you want to find, I think it's Josh Helmer and Chad McKee again.
Josh, I believe it's just Josh Helmer on the radio.
Oh, just Josh. Okay,
Josh
cool.
On the radio
so
call.
just Josh. So if you want to hear him in Sooner Baseball, go to Channel 1 or the terrestrial radio. You will find them there as well. He's Connor Pasby. I'm Grayson Singleton. Hey, coming up next, we'll talk more Porter Moser and OU basketball. Plus, what the hell is going on with the Big 12 tournament court? It's Locked In. Keep it here.
The Ref Radio Sports Network is powered statewide by the insurance adjusters at Brown O'Haver. Fire, wind, theft, or tornado, we can help. Call 405-735-5510. Want a chance to win big with your bracket this March? The Refs Bracket Challenge is back, and we are once again the home of winning big amidst the madness this March.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Just visit kref.com/bracket and click the link to join the Refs Bracket Challenge to see if you have what it takes to best our hosts and the rest of the Ref Army for a chance at March glory.
Do it! Just do it!
The Refs Bracket Challenge is brought to you by Louie's Grill and Bar. Louie's Grill and Bar is the perfect spot to watch your bracket look brilliant or get busted this March. Visit louisgrillandbar.com for a location near you. Make the right call. Join the Refs Bracket Challenge by March 19th before games tip off, and you'll have a chance to win big. Courtesy of Louie's Grill and Bar, the home of Sooner fans and the home for the best giveaways this March. The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Hey guys, this is Lisa Talley, owner and broker of 828 Real Estate. 828 Real Estate is your premier full-service commercial and residential real estate brokerage and property management firm. With our team of real estate agents and specialized property management team, 828 is here for you in every capacity. Whether a seller or buyer, an investor or renter, please explore our website at 828re.com. 828 Real Estate, service with purpose. 405-701-8881. Call us today.
The TSET Healthy Youth Initiative is making a difference in every corner of Oklahoma, working to prevent teen tobacco and vape use, fueling our minds and bodies through health education, and empowering the next generation of leaders. Why? Because we are the future of Oklahoma. The TSET Healthy Youth Initiative, investing in Oklahoma. Learn more at tsethealthyyouth.com. Brought to you by the Tobacco Settlement Endowment Trust.
I really think we need to call a plumber.
No, we're close. I can feel it. Come on. Come on. Uh-oh.
Well, you did it this time. I'm calling Norman Air.
The AC guys?
Yeah, they do plumbing too.
Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max. Hey, I think I fixed it. No, false alarm, didn't fix it.
Juicy, fruity, and oh so boozy. The Welch's you know and love is now available as spirit-based beverages. Ready to bring the nostalgia and fun times to adulthood, these cocktails are full of flavor. Head to your local liquor store or ask for Welch's Craft Cocktails by name.
No matter where you live, you care about one thing during bad weather: keeping your family and property safe. Scissortail Roofing and Construction is here to ensure just that. Whether it's damage from strong winds or a hailstorm, we will manage your residential or commercial project from start to finish. Call us today, 405-928-8089, or visit us online at scissortailroofing.com for a free estimate. Call Scissortail today, your trusted local roofing and construction company.
Weigh in on the locked-in First Liberty Bank text line at 405-651-3439. First Liberty Bank. Bank like a champion today with First Liberty Bank at myfirstlibertybank.com.
At Lander CDJR of Norman, it's the declaration of deals. Pick any new 2026 Ram Light Duty Crew Cab Bighorn or Laramie with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, or any new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Gladiator or Grand Cherokee in stock, and we're giving you big dealer discounts and 0% financing for 60 months with no payments for 90 days. Shop LanderCDJRNorman.com for straightforward internet pricing with no special add-ons when you get here. 0% financing must finance with Stellantis Financial for well-qualified buyers.
Hey, our recruit of the day is brought to you by Keystone Property Management. Discover your next home with Keystone Property Management in Oklahoma City, offering 3-bed and 2.5-bath townhomes at Edmond Town Center and spacious single-family homes in Oklahoma City and Edmond. They've got options available to fit your needs and budget, so contact our buddy Drew England at 405-368-1836 or visit KeystonePMOK.com, your key to a better living. Grayson Singleton, Connor Pasby, this is Locked In on the home of Sooner fans. Tyler McComas and Travis Davidson will take you through the next 3 hours coming up at 3 o'clock on The Rush. Okay. Before we get to Porter Moser, what is the Big 12 doing with this court? Have you seen this, Connor?
I have, yes. I've seen, the light-up floor, at the Big 12 tournament. Yeah, a lot happening on the floor.
Dog, this is terrible.
Yeah, it does not look good. It's just trying to do too much. That's what they're doing.
So, in case you missed this, the holographics underneath the court can be controlled with an iPad, which presents its own set of problems. But I could even see it on TV. They are switching this stuff while the players are walking off courts to a timeout. It's kind of moving a little bit during the play. It's awful. Like, imagine playing on top of a bunch of LED lights.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Stuff like that just hurts. I saw, was it maybe Arizona State? They gave them the iPad and they were scribbling stuff and it shows up on the floor. I'm like, oh, but
what are we
too
doing?
much, man, too much.
Hardwood. I know I'm 24 years old and I'm supposed to like this kind of stuff, but hardwood. We're playing basketball. This isn't some elaborate pickleball thing where we need a bunch of stuff to make it look cool so people can watch on TV. It's basketball. We're going to watch it. And by the way, Kansas State played on it yesterday, and let's just say Taj Manning didn't think that it was the greatest thing in the world.
If you slip it,
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's slippery. It's the lights and stuff cause Kamari to get a migraine. And,
really?
Yeah, it's a bad floor. They shouldn't bring it back. If you want my honest opinion.
Fun for the fans, but not for the players, maybe.
Well, I haven't really talked to any fans, so I don't know. I'll probably ask my dad what he thought about it. Yeah, it's just an eyesore. It's constantly changing and stuff. It's flashing different lights and all that. Nobody wants to play on it. We just want the normal hardwood.
Of course, nobody wants to play on it. This was a terrible idea.
It's just the Big 12. Just the Big 12's wanting kind of attention towards himself. But man, just hearing that. Yeah, I didn't hear that story with Kansas State. A guy getting a migraine just from the lights on the floor. But
let's just hypothetically say, before we get to Porter Moser, let's just hypothetically say that somebody on one of the teams is epileptic. Things can go south pretty fast.
It can, man. Yeah. Papa Boganowski says K-State men's basketball is horrible. Though.
I mean,
that's a good. It's true.
That is the secondary story. Either that, regardless of whether they were going to play on a real court or whatever this monstrosity is, it wasn't going to matter. This is true. But yes, bring back the hardwood. Whatever this nonsense is terrible.
Just keep it simple, man. Just what's wrong with just a normal, regular hardwood floor? But
you know what? You know what? The memo should be to whoever wants to send this to Brett Yormark. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
The hardwood is doing just fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to do whatever the hell this is. Porter Moser is making Oklahoma really rethink this whole firing him thing. What do you think? You keep him, fire him? Where are you at this?
It's in a tough spot because you wouldn't have thought that during that stretch of 9 losses in a row where you look at the Oklahoma men's basketball program and it was just – toward the bottom. Everything was not going right, but give credit to Porter and his group. I mean, his group just continues to fight. They're able to go on a little run down the stretch in the regular season. I don't know what you do with Porter Moser right now. We'll have to see what this SEC tournament does. But good grief, man. If they're able to find a way to get in the NCAA tournament, then you're going to have to start thinking about keeping Porter for another year. It's crazy.
Here's the direction I would go. Here's what I would do. I would give this a 1-year trial.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Roger Denny, I am leaving no stone unturned as to how we could better fund this operation. And if we can get sizable increases in the funding to this program, Porter Moser, you have 1 year to get this thing better. You've kept us afloat. You've kept us middling around the tournament, flirting with getting in, and you've gotten in 1 year. Maybe got in the next year, maybe not. I'm going to give you a 1-year trial run if you are the coach you are, and we can get you a better roster with an increase in resources, take us out of the bubble and into the NCAA tournament. And then if not, you can fire him, because at that point you would have proven, okay, maybe he is part of the problem. But if you're going to fire him right now, I said this the other day, if you're going to fire him right now, all you're doing is medicating a symptom of the more underlying problem. And we all can agree that the more underlying problem, especially in this day and age, is a lack of investment and resources, right?
Yeah.
So if you get rid of one symptom, who's to say another symptom isn't going to pop up later down the line, and we just keep doing this circus all over again? So I'm more of the mindset of, if we know what the underlying problem is, how about we fix the underlying problem, and then if another problem persists, as in the coach, then we get rid of the coach. That's my thing. But I'm giving him one more year. The way he's kept this team together is an accomplishment in and of itself, and the way that they play hard for him. So I'm giving it one more year, ramp up the spending if you can, and then we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah, because there was another list. It was early this week. We already knew about what the NIL looks like for the men's basketball, and it is second to last in the SEC. And Sooner Shane at Springfield makes a good point that we hear a lot. He says, since we don't spend money on NIL, it would be stupid to pay a buyout for a coach. It's spot on right there. If you're not going to get serious about college basketball or about the men's basketball program, then it really doesn't matter who's at the head coach to me.
No, I mean, that's real. The only person that would be able to overcome that is if you got a really special coach. But then again, how many of those come around that often? Like, I think Will Wade is that type of a coach, and he's got NC State playing good basketball. But even NC State invests somewhat in that program. That's how they get a guy like Darion Williams to transfer over from Texas Tech, in a program that Grant McCaslin has really elevated in his tenure there. A texter in the 405 says, Porter has earned one more year, kept that team from giving up. And the counter to that, what Porter has done, is Adrian Autry at Syracuse, who just got fired today.
Right, yeah, saw that, yep.
Both coaches had things go bad. One team has stayed together and is now showing signs of life and is giving us a reason to talk about this. The other with Syracuse, and I did a podcast with Locked On Syracuse's Jackson Holzer, a friend of mine now, at the other company I work for. And he told me this. When things go bad at Syracuse under Adrian Autry, the trend has been they get substantially worse. With Porter Moser, things got really, really bad. 9-game losing streak, and then he kept that team together. To me, that warrants, hey, give this dude more to work with and give him one more year.
And you go back to that Texas game. If OU ends up blowing that lead and then losing to overtime, I think it's for sure you're getting rid of Porter Moser, because if they lose to Texas, I think you could probably kiss the NCAA tournament a goodbye, because I don't think they're making it. But they were somehow able to get that win in overtime, and Porter just continues to kind of keep his job alive late in the regular season.
They tried their best to lose that game,
They did,
too.
man. It's the same thing over and over again when they get a double-digit lead in the second half and they get pressure on them and not being able to take care of the ball, go on scoring droughts, and, yeah, they almost gave it away.
They almost did. CJ Sooner in Florida said, it would be so OU to keep Porter. This is why I wanted him fired in season. We have seen 5 years of this. He has a good roster this year and has done the same thing he's done every year. He is not the guy. Okay, so about the roster. Here's what I'll say. I think the roster, it's not terrible. I will say that. It's not a terrible roster. They've got good players. But I do think it is hard to consistently win in the SEC when both of your guards are 6'2". Like, you're going to need some bigger guards.
Yeah, the lack of size, which we're about to get a top, but lack of size continues to get brought up. It feels like every time Porter Moser brings out a new team every single year. But they have Mo McGee, and it's always critical for him to stay on the floor. But I'm right. I agree with you about the guard play. Nigel Pack, he's maybe 5'10", have him lifted at 5'11", 6 foot, but he's probably 5'10".
Maybe.
And just, not big guard play. That always continues to hurt. But I thought he did a good job in the transfer portal getting guys like Tay Davis, who was a little bit rough during that losing streak, but he's been playing a lot better ball as of late.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say on this, Xavier Brown's been good, Nigel Pack's been good. They've all been good. But especially when your weakness is defense, it's going to be kind of hard to play in the SEC with 2 guards like that. So get him more resources, get him a better roster, and we'll see. Hey, maybe they can have a turnaround like Oklahoma had. We'll see. On the football side. I don't know. We'll see. Connor's been fun.
Good job, Grayson. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man, to hang around with you. And, got OU baseball now here against UT Arlington coming up.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if the Sooners can get another win. They're off to a great start. All right, it'll be me and Josh Thursday and Friday here on Locked In. Tyler and Travis on The Rush coming up next. Talk to you tomorrow.